Hi, so next part of the Excel for Projects reports, we're going to be looking at some particular areas. So I've got a video that's coming up with regards to text to columns, a great little tool to put data that's in the same, lots of data in the same cell and separate it out. Particularly good example would be names, first name, last name in the same cell, and some conditional formatting. The other ones will follow, and so I'm going to do them in smaller chunks to make it easier for you to search for what you need. Okay?
Okay, so we've gone to the text to columns tab, the next one, and this covers this area in the syllabus, and it's using the feature in the data tab. We'll find a lot of features in there that we're going to be using, and it's the feature called text to columns. So let's just click on it and hover on it so you can see it. So what we've got here is we've got a single set of data, two lots of data in one cell. So what this feature does is it actually, as it brings up a wizard as it's just done, it will then split that data into separate data cells, which is obviously good practice because you want to do any sorting or filtering. It's really difficult to work with this one set of data. So what we're going to do is we'll delete one I did earlier, so we're ready. And what we need to do is separate, as it was, these names into these two ranges. Okay, so we're going to highlight the A5 to the A12. Use the feature, click it on like I did earlier, and you can see that wizard coming up. There's the data we're using. It is delimited. Next. It needs a space, so sometimes it might have something like that, or a semicolon, other. And the thing is, if you take the other off and I put the space on, you can see that it actually works because it has separated that into two separate cells. And you can see that the data does have a space. If you're in the exam, it would let you know what to use. Okay, so don't worry too much about that. But in the real world, you know there's a space. Go to next. And then you need to say where the destination is. So if you pull that over, you can expand that. And then you can click on the first one where you want the destination to be. And you can see there that it's B5. And it comes up with this little $signed area here. If we finish, then you can see that it automatically puts that data where we asked it. And that feature is the text to columns. You can try this yourself. I've done one here. Be aware that in the exam there could be a gap, or it could be a sort of a range further away than you're expecting. So just be aware that when you put your destination in, that you make sure it's in the right place. I'll leave that for you to have a go in the actual lecture slides. The next syllabus feature we're going to look at is the conditional formatting, which is on the Home tab, and it's just a feature here. So the good thing about conditional formatting is it highlights things in a particular way so that it draws your attention to the areas that you want. So the way that it's used in the exam is if we go into the conditional formatting, there are these options here, and they're absolutely fine. But what we tend to do in the exam is we look at the new rule area, which gives you more options. And I'll take you through an example first, and you can see what I'm talking about. So here, format the cells that only contain less than or equal to 19,000. So if we were going to do this, it's at the bottom here. I've got it written down for you. So if we're going to pick up B4 to M4, make sure that in the exam you don't go over into other cell areas that they don't want you to use. Then if we go to the feature conditional formatting, and into the new rule, they always in the exam in this syllabus use the format only cells that contain. So that's something you can be quite sure of. Then you've got the options of, as it says, between, not between, equal, etc., etc. And in this case, we're using less than or equal to. So we're going to use the less than or equal to. We're going to pop in the figure 19 0, 0, 0. Make sure in the exam your number lock's on and you don't jump all over the place as it does. And then what we do is we need to format it to follow this. So you've got light blue cell shading. So if we go into the format area, it automatically by default comes up on the font tab. And what you've got to be aware of is when you can't go into it, people tend to just jump to the colour. That's what they see, because we're doing a shading colour, aren't we, of light blue. Make sure that if it's not including any of these areas here for the font, you go to the Fill tab. And it's in the Fill tab that you can find your light blue. They won't ask for a particular colour, just a light or a dark. If you've got colour blindness in the exam, then obviously if you're not totally sure about a blue, you can call an invigilator, pop your hand up, and if you indicate what you see as blue, if that's what's in the question, you could get a quick nod and that's all that you need. Okay, so we're going to OK on that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the other one. So we OK that through, we click away, and you can see that those conditions that were met have been highlighted in light blue. So let's do another one together, B10 to M10, once again not including totals or anything else it doesn't want. Back into the conditional formatting, new rule. This time we're looking for greater than and equal to 9,000, so back to format cells that contain. Greater than or equal to, pop in 9,000 into the format area, and we're already on the fill because of earlier, and we can find a light grey cell shading, OK it through, and then you can see that that one's worked. However, in the exam, you will normally get something that where you apply it to the same data. So let's highlight these cells into conditional formatting, and let's clear all the rules from selected cells. So those conditional formatting rules have all gone. Let's move up into the spreadsheet. We're just going to bring this up so that we can work on the B4. Bear with me, and you can still see what we're doing. So here we're going to be working on the B4 to the M4 like we did previously. But we're going to do two lots, and we have to do it twice. We can't do it all in one go. So we're popping into conditional formatting again, new rules. Format only cells that contain only those cells. We're going to use a less than and equal to right at the bottom. And we're going to use the figure 1930. Okay, I'm going to pop in a light blue shading. Okay. And then we're going to do the same cells that are already, once we OK, they're already highlighted. So go back in, next rule, rules that contain, and then we're going to use the greater than. And we're going to use a 2, 3, 3 zeros, format it into a light grey, OK, OK it through, click away, and you can see that that has occurred. Okay, so if you're not sure about conditional formatting, have a go. Most people have used it by now, but it's a great little tool.